Good morning. Welcome to Hindu News for IAS 8th December 2022. Today is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation SAARC Divas. SAARC was established in 1985 on this day. SAARC comprises 3% of world landmass, 21% of global population, and 5.21% of global economy. Its headquarters or secretariat located in Kathmandu, Nepal, and the organization promotes economic development and regional integration. It even launched South Asian Free Trade Agreement, but still it haven't reached the benefits. What I want to convey to you is, today there was an article talks about BIMSTEC as a key to a new South Asian regional order. This article can be understood that on the eve of SAARC Divas, it was published. So what are the major arguments of the author in this particular article? Author highlighted that there are several important developments after the SAARC formation. It was mentioned that SAARC, a policy, a program which was launched to create the regional integration, was unable to deliver its justice, because SAARC has a problem which doesn't existed in the other regional organizations. South Asian Association Regional Cooperation began with a high goals of intra-regional trade and investment. Unfortunately, it was obstructed by two major powers in South Asia, one by Pakistan, other by India. Pakistan several times initiated veto against the other country initiatives, particularly from India, whenever India is trying to promote any policies within the SAARC. Whenever India is promoting any new initiatives within the SAARC, it was Pakistan which obstructed. Example, Motor Vehicles Agreement Act was obstructed by Pakistan several times. If you take India obstructed negotiations, and even it stayed away from the SAARC negotiations because of the policies of Pakistan. Pakistan, one side demanding talks, along with that it is also promoting terrorism. That's the reason SAARC doesn't have such stable negotiations or mechanisms. We need to understand why SAARC has significance in and around the South Asia. SAARC is significant for several reasons. One, it is the one South Asian association in which you will find countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. They want to promote their economic growth. Second thing, SAARC also lays down some regional institutions like SAARC University. Further, it promotes regional integration by placing bilateral negotiations and also bilateral mechanisms through discussions. SAARC is also focusing on trade development model, which is developed by some new international scholars, that is incrementalism and flexibility. If you see these developments of incrementalism and flexibility, they are different from the neoliberal model of Washington consensus, in which they focused on from the side of dominating countries or developed countries. Nowadays, trade is allowed and trade talks are moving ahead when they are when they are originated or initiated from the developing countries. So, neoliberal economy or model is based on the countries which is developed, whereas the new incrementalism or flexibility is based on the countries which are developing. Now, as a time when multilateralism is not effectively working, SAARC is need of the hour. It is well known fact that SAARC or South Asian countries are major hubs of narcotics, drugs, arms trafficking and human trafficking. So SAARC can easily helpful in tackling these issues. However, as I told you, because of these two countries, SAARC became dormant and it is not active. So the gap created in the absence of SAARC now trying to fulfilled by BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, established in 1997, an intergovernmental organization which comprises of five South Asian countries: Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, and two Southeast Asian countries, Myanmar and Thailand. It is important that it even had a presence of countries which are not present in SAARC. SAARC and BIMSTEC, if you compare, BIMSTEC is wider because BIMSTEC allows new countries to be part of its organization. Article 6 allows that admission of a new countries, and even BIMSTEC Charter promotes economic integration. There is a flexibility within the countries. They can start new economic negotiations with the non-BIMSTEC members. It is similar to ASEAN countries and even African Union countries. In BIMSTEC, ASEAN or African Union, they doesn't have any veto like SAARC countries has the power within the negotiations. Now finally, BIMSTEC can have a potential to rise the South Asian regional order and promote the incrementalism and flexibility also. So this is the other observation. Next article talks about RBI goes slow on rate limits increase to 35 BPS. It is evident from the monetary policy that RBI has the duty of maintaining price stability and the objective of growth. Preamble to the RBI Act 1934 talks this statement, and I quote, primary objective of monetary policy is to maintain price stability and keeping the mind objective of growth. Urjit Patel Committee recommended monetary policy framework in 2016 and which brought subsequent amendments to the RBI Act 1934. Under section 45ZA, Central Bank in consultation with RBI determines the inflation targeting, which is sometimes called as flexible inflation targeting. From 2016 to 5 years, the inflation targeting was 4% and plus or minus 2%. In the year 2021, March 31, it was raised to again next 5 years with the same limit. The inflation band in India is upper limit of 6% and lower limit of 2%. So this was framed in 2021 and it will continue up to 2026. So the primary target of RBI monetary policy is, apart from growth, even control the inflation. So the tools to control the inflation are two. One is qualitative and one is quantitative. Quantitative tools talks about open market operations, bank rate, repo rate, reverse repo rate, cash reserve ratio, statutory liquid ratio, marginal standing facility, liquidity adjustment facility. Qualitative talks about credit rationing, credit regulations, guidelines, moral suasion, etc. Now RBI decided to raise the rates to 35 BPS. 35 BPS, that is basic points, meaning is 0.35% rates will increase. For example, if it is 7%, it will be 0.35%. Like that, it will rise. So the current rates as per the RBI Monetary Policy Committee are marginal standing facility at 6.15% and repo rate is at 6.25%, SDF is at 6%, And RBI predicted as the global economic slowdown continues at 6.80%. Now these are the important things. I recommend you, everyone has to revise the Monetary Policy Committee notes along with you, or else if it is possible, we will have a separate recording on it. Next article talks about the perils of undoing the framework of reservation. This is a well and very important article for all of the students who are preparing for civil service examination, because this article highlights a very important structural challenge which remains same and which continues to exist in India. The article explains the idea of reservations is to create the level playing field, but idea of reservations somehow unable to deliver its promise. Other quoted, and I said, All India Debts and Investment Survey 2019, which was released in 2021, which mentioned that the debts in India is rising. Apart from that, there is high caste inequality in the wealth of the people. Here, wealth includes physical assets such as land, livestock, agriculture, machinery, even financial instruments like shares, deposits, etc. Others stated from the report, from 1990 onwards, there was a clear rise in inequalities and consumption. So these inequalities was raised from the evidence of Gini quotient or Gini quotient talks about the measure of inequalities among the people. Gini quotient says that if a country has a value of 0, it is a perfect equality country. And if it is 1, it expresses maximum inequality among the people or values. So the Gini quotient in India is also rising as per the others' observation. It was 0.62 in 1992. It is 0.68 in 2019. Other quoted data of per capita of upper caste, which is close to 8 lakhs, whereas OBCs around 4 lakhs, SCs around 2 lakhs 28,000, and tribals it is 2 lakhs 32,000. You need to understand that upper caste people's wealth is twice the level of OBCs, and they controls 45% of total wealth and also 40% of total wealth. And here it is also important that LPGs raised inequalities among the people. It was quoted from World Inequality Report that private wealth to the national income rising at a faster phase. It was 290% in 1980, but private wealth is at 555% in 2022, as per the 12th World Inequality Report. However, India doesn't have any kind of tax on inheritance, which is very unfortunate. Now, how this can be justified? Because we are providing reservations to counter the historical inequalities and historical discrimination. But this inequalities still continues day by day to the generations, which is an unfortunate thing. So 21st century witnessing a different problem, because in USA there was a movement called as white backlash, and even UK and other countries also this kind of movements are developing. This white backlash or white rag, meaning the white people started negative response to the racial progress of other ethnic groups in rights, economic opportunities, as well as in the other aspects. You should understand that even similar kind of trends started in India also. For example, open category people starting demand for EWS reservations, and even Other dominant castes like Jats, Marathas also demanding reservations. So at this time, it is a serious time to adjust the economic inequalities, and we have to focus on the change in the economic level playing field. So this is the time to create level playing field and to alter the wealth inequalities in the society. Next article talks about effective tourist policy. Tourism is one of the biggest asset for the India. In fact, 12th Planning Commission stated that tourism can remove inequalities. However, there are series of events. Recent attack on South Korean YouTuber, rape of Latvian tourist which got judgment very recently in 2022, and Russian girl of 12 years raped in Goa, assault on Iran lady in Gurugram, and sexual misconduct of cab driver in Delhi. Like that, the list goes on. NCRB stated in 2022 there were 62 incidents, and 2019 there were 123 incidents which are assaults or crimes against the foreigners. This will dent the image of the country, decline the income, and it can hamper growth of tourism sector, which is one of the easiest job creating sector. Now, to counter this challenge, in 2022, Ministry of Tourism and Bureau of Police Research and Development conducted a conference to sensitize the police and to implement the scheme, that is scheme Uniform Tourist Police scheme throughout the India. There were dedicated tourist police for UP, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Rajasthan and Delhi. It is interesting that during the G20 meetings, the Delhi government want to create a separate wing as a tourist police. So what tourist police need? They need control room, outpost, uniform, recruitment, qualification, training, logistics, and they should be given incentives. The current police should give incentives like 30% to join in this tourism sector. There is a need for faster investigation. For example, in Rajasthan, the rape of a German tourist was concluded within 22 days. Such kind of faster investigation is also needed. Next article we have plan to install 500 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030 to cost 2.44 trillions. This is India's recent announcement to enhance the renewable energy capacity. Points can be remembered for our answer writing, what India is doing or how India is planning point of view. Next, RBI says that it is ready to invest more money towards the economy if it is needed. You should remember liquid adjustment facility concept very clearly. So what is liquid adjustment facility talks about? Liquid adjustment facility talks about a system in which that RBI operations through which injects or absorbs the high liquidity in the banking system. It consists of policies like repo rates, SDF standard deposit facilities, marginal standard facilities, and also open market operations, market stabilization scheme, and foreign swaps. Every word is important. You should have a notes about it. Last article talks about RBI tweak to UPI will help e-commerce share purchases. Now we are doing online purchases by using cards, by using online payment methods. Now soon we are going to get UPI enabled payments in the e-commerce also. So that is an interesting development. Let us wait and watch for the next developments. Thank you so much and Jai Hind.